Hey guys, this is Will Perry, CEO and CMO of Reason, and I'm going to go directly into the value for you here today behind ad variable isolation and why you want to consider implementing this method into your Facebook media buying strategy. This strategy has allowed us to get results like 39% reduction in CPA in 14 days, like you'll see down here below on the page, 35% reduction in CPA in 60 days, like you'll see down here below on the page. I'm not going to sell you a course at the end of this video. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I feel like you can be doing better with your ads, with your media buying, how you're optimizing and scaling so that you can start increasing that return on ad spend here over the next, 7 to 30 days. So there's really 3 reasons why you want to implement the ad variable isolation method into your Facebook ad account and how you're media buying. Number 1, clarity removes the guesswork of performance. Number 2, structure and systems create less volatility and more predictable performance. And number 3, systems allow replication and scale. And so I've heard so many questions over the years about, or I should say thoughts or comments where, brands, founders, directors of marketing, et cetera, have asked me that, or they've said to me, I don't know what's working with my ads and why. That question is most often going to lead to the lack of being able to scale accounts. Anytime that we've been able to spend, $5, $6, $7, $9, $10,000 a day in ad spend is because we're implementing ad variable isolation into our testing environment. So I'm going to cover how exactly we do that here at Reason when we're working with e-com brands just like yours. So right off the bat, it starts with our 3-phased testing structure. Phase 1 being audience testing, phase 2, creative testing, and phase 3, scaling. When you work through this process, it's an ongoing process of constantly testing to get to new levels of scale. When we've implemented this process, we've been able to take accounts from a couple $100s a day to $7, $8, $9 a day in spend while hitting target KPIs in less than 30 days. So there's very compelling reasons why you would want to do this, because it can significantly and drastically change the trajectory of your business, how you can drive sales in faster. So I'm going to go through one specific example here with screenshots from one of our accounts. So ad variable isolation is really rooted around the scientific method. You might remember from grade school, middle school, et cetera, when you run a scientific experiment, the best scientific experiments have a control and they have a variable, right? And the problem is with the way that most media buyers, agencies, freelancers, founders, the way that they run their ads, they kind of are throwing a ton of variables together. And then they wonder why they're not sure either the ads are or are not working. Or what is actually working with those ads, which then, doesn't allow you to scale in the long term. I can tell you with 100% confidence and certainty that when you use ad variable isolation, you will know exactly what is working within your ad and why. And that's rooted, again, around controlled setup environment. So for example, let's have a look at a phase 2 test, for example, like with these screenshots that you see here. So the only variable that's being tested within this ad set setup, for example, is the actual ad copy itself with this new creative, right? So this is a new unproven creative. And remember, in a phase 2 testing campaign, you want to be using proven audiences only. So for example, we've got this creative being tested to a 1% lookalike of the email list. The creative is this 1004 here that you'll see in the screenshot above, and the ad copy is labeled, EEGGFF, for example. Naming convention, super important as well with regards to clarity within your media buying. But I digress on that. So when we're running this test, this new creative, we're using, again, proven ad copy only as well. So this isn't unproven ad copy. This is only an unproven creative being tested with a proven audience. It doesn't have a different headline, on the ad either. And so when we run this test, I can tell you with 100% confidence what is the best of the best ads in this new testing or ad creative testing environment. I can tell you that this ad with this combination of messaging hit the audience the most efficiently. It drove the highest return on ad spend at the lowest customer acquisition cost. And so when you implement this testing philosophy into your campaigns, you now have an understanding, true clarity into what exact creative is working. You can run tests this way as well, with testing headlines and hooks and offers and, the body copy. And when you, like I said, when you run this testing environment this way, you can identify exactly what about the ad is working and why. And then when as you're dialing in this winning ad formula for yourself, you have all of these now winning bucket, or I should say you have this bucket of winning ads that you can continue to scale from. And then you're going to continue to replicate that process week by week by week by week, probably testing minimum 4 new ad creatives a week, times 3 copies, meaning that you should be testing a minimum of at least 12 ads every week just to sustain levels of spend of $1 to $2 grand a day. Not even to mention what that creative output and testing looks like to spend 5, 6, 7, 10 grand a day. I would say the biggest misconception or the biggest downfall maybe that I see with brands who are not able to scale is that they don't have a system and process in place to produce the amount of creative that is needed in order to spend, $5K a day and beyond. Now, you can also replicate this process with your audience testing as well. Same philosophy here with ad variable isolation. Unproven audience with proven creative only. So, ad 1001, 1005, and 1009. These are all ads that have been proven in a phase 2 testing environment. In a phase 2 testing environment, we're looking for some very specific metrics to identify what a quote winning ad is. Minimum rate out of the gate, we're looking for 10 conversions, 10 purchases. I'm looking for a minimum of 200 landing page visits and usually a reach of north of 10,000. There's early kill sort of metrics, as we call them, in place as well to protect early return on ad spend, from overspending on ads as well. And what I would see, or what I would say that I see the most often, when I've audited, dozens and dozens of accounts over the last, few years, probably hundreds at this point, I don't even know, is that, there's lack of control within the testing environment, and there's lack of know-how of exactly what to be looking for. Like I just rattled off exactly what a proven ad spec was because it's outlined in our SOP internally by which our entire team executes media buying strategy on. Very detailed processes. One thing that we always say here at Reason is that marketing either exposes product or process. And so you'll find out one way or the other once you implement ad variable isolation into your testing philosophy. So ad variable isolation is really part of a 3-part formula that we use to reduce CPA for brands just like yours. When you reduce CPA, you automatically increase return on ad spend. Ad variable isolation, when added into your customer activation framework alongside message-driven targeting, can have massive capabilities to increase your return on ad spend and the ROI of your entire customer acquisition strategy. This 3-part formula is something that we've really dialed in very significantly over the years. And one of the things that we do here at Reason is we provide a comprehensive optimization plan for any brand that wants to find out how to optimize their campaigns, optimize their funnel, increase their return on ad spend, decrease their customer acquisition cost. And so if that's something that you're interested in here, we do an entire teardown of your creative, your funnel, your messaging, your pop-ups, your upsells, your email flows and campaigns, your offers, your messaging, your creative, your tech stack. We rip apart everything, all of the data, tracking, attribution, and we provide this comprehensive optimization plan of, there's so many recommendations here, and you can kind of see it here on the screen. of what you can start doing over the next 30 to 90 days. So if you want to get your detailed SOP, that strategic optimization plan for your business, for your brand, go ahead and click the button below to secure your SOP today. We're only doing a few of these a month. These plans take upwards of 10 to 15 hours. We'll review this plan together. It'll take several hours, for us to go through all of this together. So go ahead and secure your strategic optimization plan down here below the video. And I look forward to catching up with you soon.